What do you think medieval people would have said during sex? It's actually recorded in a book written by a monk who was not so monkey. He writes, when a person does their God's commanded duty to multiply, they yell "Eeha, eeha, this pleases the Lord." I guess the guy was a bit of a pervert, but there you have it. A little bit off topic, but surprisingly how many people believe medieval people spoke Shakespeare in English? On topic, so little Timmy died of smallpox last night and we're only left with 3 children to work the land. The landlord expects 500 kilos of grain from the land we're working by end of summer. Better get to work. Yield your bosom to my loins, saith my name, thou treacherous wench, doest thou not like it this? Yes, thou dost treat, doest thou thy voluptuous temptress, a fair maiden you are not, and thy reckoning is nice amid, for thou art bequeathed to me by thy uncle the Earl of Dorchester. I feel like I was quite specific. It would probably depend on the context a lot. Oi, that clam banshee of a gobamoosh between thine legs reeks of sin and pestilence. Hear ye the princess, and I shall now fornicate under consent of the king, and likely fuck until morn. His Excellency imbibed rather excessively and fell limp under the sacramental wine spell, so I declare thee a proper fop doodle. Hark, fine wench thou art, to make me cometh with haste, prepare thy anus, for my seed will go roving around inside of thou. In 500 CE in Arabia, they used to say their wives as mothers, during sex or a romantic way. It is an old version of mommy maybe, smiley face. West heart, thou comest? Cometh for me, forsooth cometh for me, or I will be forced to denounceth you as a witch. Doth that please thou, harlot? Yeah, verily, 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 yeah. So, question for y'all in the comments. Do you like it when a lady calls you milord, or does it kind of weird you out? I can't speak for medieval era, but read James Joyce's Dirty Letters if you want an eye-opener to fetish in the early 1900s. Can you believe we are doing this despite how stinky, dirty, STD-ridden we are, on top of the high mother mortality rate during labor? Wake up, Harold, I know you've never masturbated or had sex before, but surely it wasn't that intense. I would walk off the ends of this earth to enjoy your bounteous bosoms also. The same thing Kyrie Irving says. Quit crying. Probably. I imagine a significant portion of medieval sex was less consensual than it is now. Come, Tyler, and present your fine silver side unto me, so that I may do the goodly work of making a rud against it, and seeding thine bristled flower with the nectar of my flesh bone most adventuresome. I read somewhere that doja play was very popular during the Middle Ages because sex before marriage was frowned upon because religion. My guess is they stayed as quiet as possible. Families shared one room, not ideal for moaning and dirty talk. While seeing as everyone back then would smell horrible, probably not much because they were trying to not breathe. Oh yeah, you like that? Not sure much has changed for people who like being degraded, maybe calling them a dirty little whore. I have arrived, madam, I shall now take my leave on my steed, now that for blessed upon you my seed tips fedora. I don't think they had lengthy conversations during the act, probably just mostly some grunting and moaning like modern people do during sex. Though I'm not a historian, so I could be wrong. Rare found footage of old-timey sex talk. Compatsy. God. After the spanking. Rejoicing. Lovely filth. Hey, you. You're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into that imperial ambush, same as us, and that thief over there. You must tie her down and spank her, and as afterwards you may deal with her as you like. And after the spanking, the oral sex. By St. George's Lance Gadzooks I teats are magnificent, blessed be the day I laid eyes upon such loveliness. Anyone who watched The Last Kingdom knows the answer to this. You are more fun to plow than a field of barley. Ooh ouch, ow ow, sorry it's painful and there's so many bumps. Ooh ow oh oh, my dick was cursed by a witch. I'm home, that's a good peasant, am here to collect the taxes of thy heart. You like hitting it when your master plows a field? Such a dirt peasant. I'm going to part your legs like the Red Sea. I shall lower my drawbridge and introduce you to the Queen, yes I shall. And when you arrive at that magical moment I want you to shout victory. FYI, people in the Middle Ages liked a good bath. It's after the Renaissance that people thought that bathing was bad for you. The stinkiest centuries in Europe were probably 1500, 1800. I thought I read one time that it was very important to wash in the Middle Ages. Like it was a whole article on misconceptions about the Middle Ages specifically. Human adaptability is such a crazy cool thing. It's entirely possible a person would simply get to a stage where they don't care, don't notice. Person A as thou cometh. Person B, I am like a soaked sponge and have cometh thrice, and I do believe I feel the warmth of thy man fat as it doth trickle down my leg.